So, 9:40 a.m. Started duty at 5 a.m. Just discovered some news outside of security in my personal, not necessarily my personal life. It doesn't affect me personally, but this was somebody, this was a celebrity. This was a musician that I actually admired, and this was actually a musician that I credit some of my upbringing to. Toby Keith passed away today. Country musician, country legend Toby Keith passed away today. 64 due to stomach cancer. Passed away peacefully. Now, some of you know I was in the Civil Air Patrol. I was in the United States Air Force Auxiliary from 2011 to 2018, performing missions for America in collaboration, in partnership with active duty United States Air Force. I had the distinct honor and privilege of being a cadet, a teenager allowed to wear the Air Force uniform within a civilian auxiliary of the U.S. Air Force, Civil Air Patrol. I was the cadet commander for Nellis Air Force Base, to where at the peak membership, I commanded upwards of 60 teenagers, to where I wouldn't necessarily say I ruled with an iron fist, but I didn't fuck around on base. As a teenager, it was my job as cadet commander to enforce Civil Air Patrol regulations within the squadron towards my peers, towards the cadets lower ranking than me. But it was also my job to enforce active duty Air Force regulations along with Civil Air Patrol regulations. And there's kind of an unwritten rule within the on-base Air Force squadron, within the on-base CAP squadron, that you are on base. You are a guest of Nellis Air Force Base. You are a guest of the base that hosts the Air Force's Top Gun, the Air Force Fighter Weapons School. I just noticed I got crud in my eye. Sorry, I got sidetracked. But yes, I had the honor of being allowed to have base access. Every year we would do Aviation Nation. Every year the Air Force would do Aviation Nation. Civil Air Patrol would have a recruiting booth. Civil Air Patrol would also help out behind the scenes. You had us teenagers walking around in woodland BDUs, and we would assist. We were right up there with the Thunderbirds, and by up there I mean we were so ingrained into the Aviation Nation air show that we were side by side helping the Thunderbirds. I had some pretty fucking cool experiences in CAP, guys. But I bring that up in relation to Toby Keith because some of his songs were played during the air show every year. Courtesy the Red, White, and Blue, Made in America, Whiskey Girl at times. Sometimes the Thunderbirds would play that. Sometimes they wouldn't during the, as the Thunderbirds, as the Red, White, and Blue fighter jets did their performances. Sometimes they do Whiskey Girl. But yeah, so Toby Keith, some of you know, did a lot for the U.S. military in general. I go specifically Air Force a lot because of Civil Air Patrol, but Toby Keith was very active within the military scene. So I just found out that news in the last hour or so, and I'm like, oh, like it kind of hit me. So I just kind of want to do a video and acknowledgement. Yeah, not necessarily staying in my channel's topic of private security, but hey, I credit Toby for some of my upbringing. I credit Toby's music to some of my personal ethos. I credit Toby to some of the way I carry myself nowadays because of the music I listened to as a kid and then a teenager. I remember doing karaoke to Toby on some cruises with my family when I was a wee lad. So yeah, shorter video. That's really all I have. Just wanted to acknowledge Toby. Just want to acknowledge his effect that he had on my life. I wanted to give thanks to him for I wanted to give thanks to him for some of my upbringing, some of my personal ethos, some of my personal moral code, because his music helped develop me. So, Toby, I'm gonna raise a red solo cup to you today. But yeah, that's really all I had. In the myriad of videos I'm making today, I just discovered that news, and I'm like, oh. So I had to make this one in honor and in memory of Mr. Keith. So yeah, here's to you, Toby. That's really all I got for you guys. Mike here, Fresh Secure Journal. Take it easy. Not gonna do the usual spiel. I'm out.